Welcome back, everybody, to Extra Trashy. It has been months. I would say I'm sorry, but am I? Maybe I'll be more consistent. You know, I've been leaving my host iDom here all alone with nowhere to vent his thoughts besides his rage baiting YouTube channel. So I got to apologize to iDom. You doing okay, iDom?
Yeah, I'm doing good. Just gotta let my emotions and let my thoughts out, and now we have the podcast to do that.
Perfect. Well, that's all the people I need to introduce. So we might as well get into the topics today.
Hey,
right?
show some respect. God damn it, with your last minute ass invitation. By the way, iDom, I watched your last YouTube video. I think it was about EVO entrance or something like that, and it was fire. It's still weird to me that you consistently upload on YouTube, but as much as I'm gonna show you some love, I'm gonna cut your ass down. iDom, let me show you something, brother. Okay. You see that, IDZ? Do you see that?
Okay.
Do you see that? Do you remember?
That...
Hold up. Damn. Hold on. You know that team, iDom?
Flexing the ring there. The Street Fighter League Championship ring.
Remember, iDom, I whooped your ass at head-to-head at Street Fighter League. And you was like, why did he do that? So I'm going to go ahead and let the truth out, right?
Yeah.
Do you remember what the situation was? And you were surprised?
First of all, I don't remember this exact situation, but that was 8 years ago now.
Listen, iDom, you gotta let Rob live in the past. Okay?
Because easy. And you lucky I don't want to pick this. If I pick this up right now, I don't know what happened. What's our all-time record? What do you think our all-time win percentage record is between us in training?
I gotta be like 90% me.
It is. You
That's pretty good,
my
Rob.
ass all the time in training, bro. I ain't gonna lie. In tournaments. So yeah, I got this one small thing that I can goddamn shit on you with iDom. That's it.
You got a ring. I do it. I saw Shine. I saw Knuckle do all flexing their ring. I still don't got a ring.
Yeah, see.
I'm like, I'm Charles Barkley now. I don't got shit. I just on a talk show and talking shit now.
Pretty much, yeah. You see his YouTube channel? That's where it all went. Damn.
Thanks for having me on, O'Brien and IDZ.
No problem. Thanks for hopping on, because it's a special show, because of course Evo is right around the corner where maybe some of us can redeem ourselves. I don't know. iDom, you got a chance of greatness still. I think the rest of us are kind of washed and going for the hell of it. Got other things going on. But of course, Evo is still, to this day, EVO Vegas is still the primary event, the #1 event.
What do you mean by that?
We'll got to get into it. It's getting debatable these days, right? I feel like a big topic of conversation is what is the true biggest tournament? What is the #1 event of the year? And the numbers might be showing some changes with the times here. But before we get into Evo entirely, it's been a while. There's a few things we got to touch upon, especially for the Street Fighter fans. We'll get through it briefly before getting to the meat and potatoes of Evo. It's time for a word from today's sponsor, Tesseract. Tesseract produces the HyperCube Pro, an ultra-premium, low-profile leverless controller. With its compact form factor, the HyperCube Pro is ultra-portable, but don't let that fool you. This thing is built like a tank. It has an ultra-premium feel to it with its sleek all-metal build, and it just feels premium. With the gorgeous all-white and gold color scheme, it's probably one of the most beautiful controllers I've ever owned. Alongside the ultra-premium feel and the really portable form factor, I think it's just a really forward-thinking controller for Street Fighter 6 players in general. It includes the extra thumb button here down in the bottom right, and also even an extra pinky button here on the left. I personally started using the thumb button myself to map to parry, and I instantly saw my parry success rate increase. And for those of you attending EVO in person, Tesseract will be doing a free giveaway of a HyperCube Pro. Just find their booth at EVO and sign up for the giveaway. The only downside is, unfortunately, I will be signing it, so my bad. For those of you interested, a link to the Tesseract website and the HyperCube Pro will be in the description and in the pinned comment as well. Thanks again to Tesseract for sponsoring this video, and back to the action. First of all, since we last talked, the king has returned. All right, Sagat back in Street Fighter 6. And I have a lot of thoughts about his announcement and his gameplay trailer, which I thought was sick. But there were some mixed reactions, and I saw some interesting community reactions as well. But I don't know what you guys thought about Sagat coming back, if you're hype or not. Looking to get zoned out, if he even is still a zoning character. What do you guys think?
Bro, his animations are fire as hell. I absolutely love Sagat, the way they redesigned him and all that. And his moves just look extra violent to me. You know, I think that's something they've done a lot better with in Street Fighter 6 in general. I don't know if I can say that they've even missed on a have they missed on a character design in your opinion so far, iDom? I don't think they've missed on anyone. I love Gal's look. I like DJ got probably the best character redesign. Bison. I don't think they've missed on any redesigns.
Yeah, I think a lot of the newer characters have been pretty cool compared to their old counterparts. Ed, to me, biggest upgrade. Ed was kind of a bit lame in 5, and now Ed's actually kind of sick. I don't think they missed on any of the older. Actually, no. There's one character. Well, I guess the horse is cool, but I don't like newer Bison, actually.
Agreed.
Really?
That was the one I was going to push back on.
Yeah.
I like the visual design of Bison, but his gameplay... yeah.
Oh
it's too
the
generic Street Fighter 6
and all that shit in comparison to my favorite Bison gameplay is like Street Fighter 4 personally.
The mine is fine. To me, it's just everything else around it. Like he's too Street Fighter 6ified. He's too low forward drive rush down, and then scissor kicks not being in charge. Like I just don't think he has a bit of his own identity now with the mine mechanic, but it didn't hit quite as well as I think the other redesigns. Like iDom mentioned Ed. I hated Ed in Street Fighter 5. I thought he was a terrible waste of a slot character. I really like him. He's one of my favorite characters in 6 right now. So Sagat to me is kind of speaking my language with that. As soon as he showed up on the screen, I mean, he had a wall splat DP. Like he did an uppercut and the motherfucker bounced off the wall. Like that was too sick. And then his level 2, like, he says I will crush you, and he said that always before, and that was one of his lines in Street Fighter 5 as well with his V trigger, I think. But now I believe him. Like when he says I will crush you, he like grabs your head. you look tiny as fuck next to him. He's about 8'3". He grabs your head and then just beats the shit out of you in 4 different ways. And I believe him. I think he will crush you. Like when he says that, I take what he says at face value there. And so I think he looks brutal. I think he looks so sick.
I think the thing with Sagat is he looks like way cooler. I think he did like a Falcon knee, like some kind of knee attack after the DP that actually looked very sick as well. I'm curious. One thing that I'm curious is how the fireballs are going to work. I know his fireballs got changed a lot. So I'm iffy if the whole zoning identity of Sagat, or is he just going to be more rush down? Like, I guess Ken is way more rush down than he was in previous Street Fighter game, just because how Street Fighter 6 worked. I'm curious how Sagat's going to actually play, but visually, he looks amazing. He's like towering over you now, like you said, and he actually feels like a big character.
I hope he's actually able to zone, bro. At the end of the day, I want to see the fireball trap in the corner, DP. We don't need to overcomplicate this thing. I think that right now, even Guile, of course, is a zoner, but in it, man, people be rushing shit down with Guile, something serious. Like I want to see the typical fireball game, but I think it's a lot harder to pull that off in Street Fighter 6. So we just had to see how it goes.
You know what's interesting about that? That was a big discussion point, and I did a video talking about how some people were theorizing that. To give context to the audience, what had actually changed is instead of high tiger shot and low tiger shot being separate moves entirely, one with punches, one with kicks, and you have light, medium, and heavy with both, 6 different variations, plus then the EX or OD version. Now it's all just quarter circle punch. The light version gives you the low tiger shot, the slow one, and then the medium and heavy are going to be high tiger shot. And then you have an EX version. I'm guessing you do it with light and medium, you get a low. And then with medium and heavy, you get a high. And both of those hit crouchers because high tiger shots whiff on crouchers. And the point being, high tiger shots can be really slow or really fast, but they whiff on crouchers. And then the low ones hit crouchers, but have less speed variability. So like you have to mix up your fireball zoning patterns to do different traps, catch people jumping, etc. Deal with other fireball clashes, right? So he got pretty complex with the zoning patterns. And people were theorizing that because of modern, you have to limit the number of special move strength variations you have, especially if the motion is on the same input, because you don't have a kick or punch button. You have a light, medium, and heavy. Therefore, quarter circle forward attack is one special move. Then you have the special button, which can do another strength, but you're always going to lose at least 2 versions of a strength of a move unless they do some weird exception with the special input, which they have for like JP. They've done a few weird things to cram special moves in. But usually you lose some flexibility. So the theory is like, rather than like make a modern lose a bunch of fireball variations compared to classic, give him Tiger Nexus, aka the Tiger Genrai, and make him more of a brawler and simplify his zoning a little bit to make it equal across modern and classic. That's a speculation. But I did that video talking about how people mentioned that, and a lot of the comments, I was surprised. Huge portion of the comments said, I'm so happy that his fireball game is reduced. I don't like fireballs from Sagat.
What?
I much prefer him to be a mix. He's supposed to be Muay Thai. He should be kicking. He should be attacking. He should not be throwing fireballs from full screen. That was a huge majority of the comments I got on that video. I was so surprised.
You'll be surprised how many people don't like zoners. I'm telling you, it's a real thing, and that's exactly why I think Guile doesn't really zone in SF6. It's zoning is anti fun. I feel like for a lot of like newer players.
Look, you're right, but I will say, and I'm hesitant because I don't want to sound like the old man on the porch, but the thing is, we all had to go through that annoying ass part of learning how to deal with zoners. Like that's just how Street Fighter or fighting games work. In the end of the day, it feels like even if you lose, if somebody was right in your face and beat you up, you felt like you had a chance, quote unquote. Whereas when somebody's on the other side of the screen and you just can't get in, now it feels like, oh, what am I supposed to do? When you're new to the game, and that's a part of getting stronger. So to me, this reeks of the people that are speaking like that, reeks of those who want the skill gap lower. It's not just a stylistic thing. It's also skill gap, because the stronger you get, the better you get at traversing those type of situations. You know, I can get more lucky if we just drive rushing at each other, and not just drive rush 3x6 fans and left 3x6 respectfully. But if the more I'm in your face and I'm plus and it's aggressive, the better chance I got of getting a win off on somebody who I'm not better than. That's my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, the comments are obviously from more casual fans, right? They use the word spam a lot. Like that was like, you know, as soon as someone uses the word spam in fighting game, like you instantly know they're more of a casual player, which is fine. That's 99% of the people who buy the product, right? Like but that was the perspective I got. I got a lot of feedback from that perspective, because I do think the zoning is an acquired taste. And the funny thing is, to me, like the two extremes of the zoner versus grappler, to me, the zoner is anti-fun to the casual, and then the grappler is anti-fun to the competitive
That's
player.
True. Wow, that's true.
You're right. Casuals love grapplers because they coin flip, and then competitive players hate it because they're coin flipping, and then usually more experienced players are like more okay with zoning. I mean, there's still variance in taste,
but we feel like the zoner earned the win
zoning
against us more than when somebody command grabbed us 50 times.
Not earned, you get my point.
I'm the grappler player here, and I definitely don't think grapplers are that bad. You guys are just crazy.
Yeah, but we don't care anything because you're a scrubby grappler main.
Yeah, that's actually, I've never thought about that.
I still get comments about, you know, like, oh, iDom with that scrubby ass Laura, you know, so it's still both ways too. There's still plenty of casuals who are scarred from Laura from Street Fighter 5.
But you know what's scary,
it doesn't
though,
explain everybody.
In the end of the day, I will say that the casuals are more important than us, in my opinion, because there's more of them.
Yep.
Yeah.
However,
of course,
even though that's true, there's a risk. If you go too far down that casual rabbit hole and you lower the skill gap too much, which we're not there yet, the casuals will also stop having fun, even though they don't realize it. If you make the results too volatile, if it gets to, you don't have as much to strive for. You know, the game pissing you off is what also keep you playing the game. If it's the right type of pissing you off, you get what I mean? If it just feels like nobody wants to play professional rock paper scissors, it's not as entertaining. The more
there's a sweet spot for having a fair challenge versus just complete volatility, right?
Yes.
There's always that's like the ultimate sweet spot to find in game design, and I do think in Street Fighter 6 they've inched a little bit closer to introducing a few more randomness variables, and I think they've hit a great sweet spot, and that's why the game is so popular and so addicting to people, because of the mechanics like DI. Like for lower level players, DI does fall off for high level players, except for iDom, because he beats everybody on the planet with DI. Like he's the you're the DI king. First of all, it's crazy how many top level Moke and Momoshi just got top 2 and 3 at Blink Respawn, and I saw iDom beat both of them back to back with random DI at Combo Breaker.
They're not random. They're kind of they're calculated. It's just like you're predicting a button. It's just I'm going to take the risk.
Yeah, so shut the hell up, Brian.
I'm trying to be facetious here.
Hook his ass
I'm being facetious here to make a point. Okay, obviously you know what you're doing a little bit, and also like your spacing is really good. Like you often do it when the wall is right off screen, so like it's barely in range to wall splat. so it's lower on their mental stack. Like you just got into that range. Like you're really good at, as soon as that range shows up, then DI before they even have a chance to think about it. Like it's really, I've noticed that with your gameplay, it's super sneaky how you find that spot, and then you rob them. But I think for lower level players, that's a great like kind of mechanic to just kind of coin flip with each other because both of you are kind of bad at dealing with it. And I think it has that gambling mentality that gets people to come back. But as you progress, then you start unlocking the skill gap mechanics. So it's all still there for sure. I don't think them streamlining, or I shouldn't say streamlining, but focusing Sagat more on the less of a fireball game plan is necessarily them reducing the skill gap. But they definitely did simplify the fireball options objectively because there's just less of them. But there's going to be other tools to use. So I think in general, I think they're kind of inching a little bit away from stuff that a lot of casual players complained about. Charge moves. Bison is not charged. Also part of the modern control scheme limitations. I think in general, these long-standing traditions that we go, oh yeah, learn some charge, it'll put some hair in your chest. Like, oh, learn some Sagat fireballs and fireball and uppercut, it'll put hair in your chest. Those kind of tough to get into characters and systems and character playstyles to fight against are definitely being chipped away.
Yeah, I mean it's working. I feel like I do think just that this is I'll just say real quick, I think this is the best sweet spot we've seen in Street Fighter as far as between casuals and pro level play. Early on, I was scared. I was like, oh, are we too far down the casual side? But now looking at these type of like top 8 at Blink and so we talk about later on and stuff like that, it's made it so that's like, all right, bro, people are getting consistent results just like always. So I think it's at a good spot.
Yeah.
I just think the interaction, but I think more people would rather interact with the character. I always say zoning characters are kind of non-interactable. Like you've seen a lot of the highest level zoners, Dalsum in 5, Morgan in Marvel, Happy Chaos. Like they're just not even letting the other person play. So I think it kind of dilutes it to a one-player game versus like rush-down characters where you still feel like you're playing the game. It's just sometimes you just get rushed down really hard. And to be fair, that happens to everyone because everyone's had Street Fighter 6 rounds where you just get perfected and you didn't really get to play. Versus like watching somebody get around the zoning and then when you got to get around the zoning, I just never got in. So it's kind of better like that.
That's funny. I do agree overall people prefer that, but yeah, I guess personally, like in my head, like I'd rather deal with zoning than just get low forward drive rush into throw loops. I mean, I feel so much less satisfied about guessing on a throw loop.
Not than low forward drive rush into throw loop, because at least I can play Nooch against that. I thought you was gonna say like Zangief for lure mixing your ass up over and over again, like command grab characters.
I mean. Well, once they get into the neutral before the connection, but that's very similar. Once Zangief gets into range for stand like a drive rush cancel, I don't feel as satisfied.
I didn't do nothing wrong. I'm sorry, like not nothing, but I didn't do enough wrong for me to feel good about that round. I just don't. Yeah,
I think we're all old. We're all on the zoner. We'd rather deal with zoners. We're all just old. Like, all those Street Fighter, the new Street Fighter 6 players are like, what are these guys talking about?
Yeah,
but
you're right.
What? Brian's from 4. I played Marvel 3. I was getting zoned by Morgan. Like, all that stuff is just normal to me. Yeah. I'm used to that stuff.
Yeah, it's true. We're behind on the times for sure on that one. But Sagat's coming back. I think he's going to be sick. I'm definitely trying him out August 5th. I think he's dropping, like, right after EVO. So the King will return. And I'm sure he's going to have some zoning with them. He's still going to have a fireball uppercut game. I'm definitely looking forward to throwing a fireball, seeing you jump, and doing an uppercut. Like that will heal my old soul. Like it's heartwarming just to think about. Like, young buck, I'm about to chuck this fireball. I never even played Sagat. You know what I mean? I just think I'm getting older, and I just want to throw a fireball and do an uppercut. I don't know what it is about it. It's just so appealing to me. So I'm looking forward to that August 5th. But before we get into EVO, we did have the precursor to that for the Street Fighter 6 scene. Blink Respawn was the last premiere we had over in the Dominican Republic. And we got to see the new potential trend in the Street Fighter 6 results in terms of competitive players, or really an old trend. Really, depending on how you look at it. We'll see if it keeps up at EVO. But Rob, you were there. You got to experience it firsthand. Before we even get into a little bit of the results, you want to speak to how it was to be back in the DR again? You become like a regular host there,
bro.
And you've always been put on a good show.
Thank God that they have me there every year as the host, and I appreciate it, bro. I'm not gonna lie, this ain't no goddamn PR talk. This real behind the scenes shit. I promise y'all, bro. that is one of the, I ain't gonna disrespect no other crowds. There's some amazing crowds around the world. This is at least tied for the best crowd, in my opinion. Like, at least tied for sure. The energy there is crazy, and it's just the audience that you get. I will say worldwide, I have noticed the audience have a shift from just a certain demographic, like I guess like guys of, you know what I mean? Like maybe 20s to 30 plus, 40 plus, to now there's just, dude, there's men, women, kids, old folks. Like, and I feel like the DR is where I see the biggest, I would say, mix. Just to give you guys one little story, by the way, just as far as like how big it is there, and like even like how famous Mena RD is there, for example. I went to a Dominican barbershop. They was fire, treat you really good. So I'm done with the thing. I wait for my Uber, and this girl, she speaks Spanish. You know, she didn't speak English, but she asked somebody that I knew to like translate, and the translation was like, "Do you know Mena?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And she started tripping, but she's not at a fighting game tournament. She just works at this barbershop. And she's like, wow, like, because her brother and her family is some huge Mena fans. So even when you're down there, like, bro, I think I saw some politicians at the event, dude. So as a whole, it's just a huge kind of like event, it seems like, for the country. At least that's what it feels like to me. And I think that the crowd is 10 out of 10, the match is 10 out of 10, all of that, bro. Like, and I think the production is amazing there too. So this is one of the best tournaments of the year, in my opinion. I don't know how y'all feel, but I think it's one of the best events of the year.
I agree. No, it's definitely one of the best. And I agree with the energy. I got to go there in 2019, and that was pre-YouTube era for me. And that was the first time I like took photos and signed things. And I was like, what is, like, people, random DR people, they came up to me with their kids, you know, wife and kids and all of that. I was taking photos with families, and I was like, this is never, I was just like a, you know, a B tier competitor at that time. You know what I mean? Like, I wasn't even like popular on YouTube or nothing. I was like, what is happening? Like, how do you even know who I am? And why are you asking me for a photo and all this? And then the crowd is going crazy there. And every single player I sat down to play was godlike. I played casuals with I don't even know who. Just random dudes pulling up with their PlayStation pads, sitting down to play. And I was sweating like every single set, which is rare. Like normally, like in most scenes, you go to a smaller scene, it's like the notable players you'll know, and those are the ones that really stand out. Every single dude I played was just godlike. So I think it speaks to like the strength of the community. There's tons of players there. The average level is super high, and then they're all mega fans of the community. So if you have a chance to go to compete in the DR, to visit, I definitely highly recommend it as well. It's a super good time, and they just are fans of the scene. They support it so much. iDom, have you been to DR?
I've never been to the DR, and I have the only reason I've never went is just because, I mean, I'm kind of lazy. But that's real. Like,
you're scared to go over the ocean. Is that what it is?
No, I've been over the ocean plenty of times now.
You're still scared though. I don't know. I don't believe you.
I think the reason I didn't go this year is because it was too close to EVO. I was like, I'm just gonna go to EVO anyway.
You didn't want those points,
your chances up for points.
Yeah.
It's next time.
All right.
Yeah, you got to go, man. You're becoming Stoop Kid again. I don't know. You got to get out there. I need to see iDom and the DR at the barbershop with Rob next time. You know, see if they know some iDom out there. You might be a celebrity out there, iDom. I'm saying.
I mean, I'm sure you are, to be honest. Like, no joke. They be knowing hella shit, bro. Like, it's fire.
Yeah, all the stories I've heard is always kind of like that. Everyone always like high praise for the Dominican community. So
right, they're big fans of the game, big fans of the scene. They support a lot, and just to give credit to Mena RD, isn't that amazing? The ambassador they got, like,
bro,
like that's. I feel like it's a huge part also to him for, you know, representing the scene at such a global scale. And on top of that, doing a great job, like all of his public appearances, his interviews at tournaments, like he does a great job of being a representative, not just for fighting games, but his country, his people. Like, so I don't know, there's a whole recipe for success there, and you can see it paying dividends, right? You can see that effort from NRD and his peers and everyone actually paying off in real time. It's really cool. And
I feel like he puts too much, you know, pressure on himself when it comes to that, because you got to think he probably feel like the whole country on his back, like his whole scene. You know, so he probably want to go out there and win the event every single time, and you know, the showdown match, want to win the showdown match and all this stuff. Brother, this is my opinion. Like, and I think it's pretty much fact, bro. If Mena chose never to play another game of Street Fighter or never won another match, like, which never happened, of course, but like dude, you put the scene on the map. Like, that story is still to this day one of the best stories in fighting game history. Point blank. It's fighting game esports history. The Dominican Republic's rise, them, Pakistan, you know what I mean? It was in a different type of way, but there's not really too many times, I think, where we can kind of point to one guy. I don't know if there's any other times outside of we can point at Arslan Ash and say, damn, did we find out about Pakistan?
Right.
We found out about Mina, and then we found out about Dominican Republic. So, you know, what he's done for the scene and everything, for the FGC, but especially for the Dominican FGC and the country, is out of this world. Just want to point that out.
Right. And it's an ongoing story, right? Like, he just won EVO Japan again for the second time. It's nowhere near over, right? His legacy is being built like crazy right now. And I get what you're saying about bringing up that pressure, because if we get to the results, right? Mina RD wins EVO Japan again, back to back. What insane, right? Come back to Blink Respawn. He got 7th last year, losing to Nain out of Honduras.
Nain Jr., yeah, I remember.
I don't know. I'm sorry. I apologize if I'm getting his country incorrect. Please correct me in the comments. Apologies, their name. But he double jeopardied Mina RD on that one. And then this time, he drops the losers to Nephew and loses to Tachikawa before a top 8. So not even a top 8 appearance at this one. And then this top 8 was, you know, speaking of the king making me nostalgic, this top 8 kind of made me nostalgic. We had, 5 Japanese players in this top 8, which is something we haven't seen in forever. It used to be the norm. It used to be every single premiere was like, who's going to try to stop these 5 Japanese players from winning? Right? Like, you might have a dude from Korea, maybe 1 European, 1 American, right? Like, that was kind of the mix every top 8. But this one, you know, Kusanagi, Moke, Gachikun Momochi, Psycho Nephew, Fudo Tachikawa, like, really, and some old school Japanese players, right? When you finally got down to it, you know, Fudo took this one over Momochi, and then Moke in 3rd place. Those are dudes who have been around for a while. Fudo and Momochi have been doing this for decades. Ancient EVO champions, Street Fighter 4, Capcom Cup champions.
Shit, bro? Not to go deep into it, but age-wise, like, is there no, bro, Fudo, like you said, they've been playing, what, 30 years? And they still got like
they're both 39 years old.
Okay, if you're godlike, it just stays with you. It is.
I don't know what age, what age is like, all right, damn, you can't react no more, or like, maybe it's just, is it a fighting game thing? Maybe. I know we're not going deep into that convo, but it's fascinating. Like, they're not just still serviceable, they're still like able to win the biggest events at how old are they? Like 45, 44?
39.
Oh, they're 39. Okay, they're younger than I thought. I didn't know that.
They're on the younger end of the older Japanese top level players, right? Like, Daigo's like, what, 42 or 43? Sako is up there. He's like 45 or 47. He's getting, you know, he's up there. So they're still on the younger end of the legends of our era.
As soon as they hit 40, they might be done though. That's what Rob's kind of implying. As soon as they get to 40, like, you're 39, you can still win events for a bit.
I don't know.
40 hit. Oh no.
I'm checking their birthdays right now. Is any of them born between Blink Respawn and EVO? Are they okay? Neither of their birthdays are between Blink Respawn and EVO. They're good. Okay. Momochi, Fudo, you guys were safe to make a run at EVO. Don't worry. But yeah, it was so sick to see not only the level of Street Fighter, just like, but these players returning. So it makes me wonder, like, is this a sign of things returning to the ways of old? Like, we had the point system and Esports World Cup qualifiers, which got a huge incentive for so many people to travel now, because the past 2 seasons has been hardly any international travel relatively to these events, right? Look at Blink Respawn this year compared to last year, right? There was only 1 Japanese player, which is Tachikawa. This time, the notable attendees list is like, there's like 50 players, like at least potentially like 20 Japanese players went. I might be exaggerating a little, but you couldn't call who was going to win this tournament. They were all out here. All the top NA players, except for iDom for some reason. A huge portion of the top Japanese players. A couple of strong European players as well. So we're seeing so many more people travel, and then we're starting to see, Japan starting to
results. Bro, I don't think
go back to the top placements.
I don't think so. Not yet, because Combo Breaker, I would imagine that the Japanese players were there. And top 8.
Oh yeah.
And I see, I see Goichi. It's Goichi, just a kid, North America. Bon Chan, of course, Japan. Blas from Chile. Endon Walker, UK. Dual Kevin, North America. Itabashi, Japan. And then Lashar, Korea. So only in that top 8, there's only 2 Japanese players and two North American players. We got a UK, all that. So, and then I want to say, was CEO dominated by Japan?
CEO. No, not really. CEO
No,
was kind of the Korea
was
show. It was
Lashar and NL, and then Latin America doing work, right? With Crime and Not Pedro causing a ton of upsets.
Yeah,
ton of upsets.
I think right now the levels right now seem very I think they're pretty close right now. I don't know who's the toughest region. I would not be surprised to see. I don't know, bro. These top 8s that we talking about don't even got Minna or Punk in them.
They're too hard to call.
Well, Punk made top 8 at CEO.
Oh, you're right. And Nell got him at the end. You're sure right. Yeah. That's true.
These top 8s are too hard to call. Funny enough, I doing some research about the Blink Respawn top 8. None of the top 10 seeds got top 8 at that tournament, which is actually insane. I had to bring that up. So you before every tournament, they like seed the players and who you're guessing is going to win and who's going to potentially get top 8. None of the players, not even the top 8 seeds, the top 10 seeds, the highest seed that I think got top 8 was Momochi, and he was 11. But none of the top 10 players predicted to get top 8 was even there.
Interesting. And that's funny. Like, isn't that crazy that Momochi and Fudo weren't top 10 seeds? I think that's to your point, right? Is it that there's so many good players now who go to a tournament who could win? And to be fair to the people seeding it, right? Like, how could you not seed Fudo and Momochi that high? Fudo was kind of, and Momochi kind of did not place that well relative to what you would expect in the past 2 tournaments. I think Fudo got like a couple back-to-back 32s or top 48s. For CEO and Combo Breaker. They were at these events. Like, iDom, you beat Momochi at Combo Breaker. Fudo fell for sure early.
Did you say
should have lost like at least you should have lost. He should have lost at least 3 times. But yeah, that's the closer you get to losing, the more free it is. That's always the FGC.
I mean,
logic.
Momochi got 200 points at Combo Breaker though. No, that was EVO Japan. I'm sorry, never mind. No.
Yeah, that's EVO Japan.
Yeah, he did good at EVO Japan.
But everything else he wasn't cooking.
Right. So it's hard to predict this stuff. And then speaking of prediction, right? Talk about our boy Psycho, right? Coming out of nowhere. I'm doing air quotes here because I feel like he's low key been cooking for so long now. People might have discredited his performances at Street Fighter League USA, even though he took out a lot of big names, including he might have beaten Gachikuna also at Street Fighter League US World Finals, if I remember correctly. But people like look at that team and go, oh, Street Fighter League USA was carried by Punk just by name power alone, right? Even though these players on the squad did get big wins and beat some of the world's best players. Then Psycho goes to Combo Breaker. He drops to losers in pools to, I think, Picklestein, local, JP main who keeps getting in fights on Twitter about one and dunning with the Dark Knight squad. So he loses to Picklestein and then goes through losers and goes on a tear and beats Problem X and then Tokido on stream. He got a win over Tokido on stream, so that's like a notch in his belt. Then this tournament, he's getting all his big wins on stream, beats Nephew in top 8 losers, and then has maybe the most hyped set of the whole tournament versus Gachikun with that insane final game, final round interaction, where he gets the final knockdown in the corner, throws the bombs down, predicts the jump out, jumps air-to-air reaction with the Izuna drop, and then gets the full combo pickup to kill. That was sick. He was like officially adopted by the Dominican community at that point after that one, and finally had like a really big top 8 performance under his belt. So he's on the come up for sure.
Bro, Psycho, I feel like Adam Street Fighter League actually, like I know people had a Punk narratives. He shut all that shit down. Him and Sean, in my opinion. At NA finals, when it matters most in the clutch, Shine and Psycho whooped ass. And then at Capcom Cup, in front of that crazy ass crowd, Shine and Psycho cooked. I want to say both of them. I know Shine like clutched out on everything, like because he broke through the choke. Shine is GG's. That shit over it now. Shine and goddamn broke through to a different level. And I think Psycho showed the same thing. But now to see him do this in singles tournament is crazy. I think that is cool to actually pinpoint. I remember seeing oh damn, even you, iDom. I remember seeing iDom break through this like I'm good to like, oh wow, I'm getting to elite level now. I seen that with Psycho. I seen that with damn, who else, Brian? There's somebody else just in my mind just now. Nephew. Dark Neff
Nephew's been playing amazing. Yeah,
He's-
recently he won mix up too.
Yeah, he's gotten to like the elite status, I feel like, or at least right in that situation. So I think with Cycle, we seeing that same thing, bro. I think he's due for a big win, in my opinion, or at least like a top 3 finish.
Yeah, I think he's broken through, and they both Shine and Psycho got big wins in that Street Fighter League Worlds. Like Psycho actually ended up beating Kawano and a setup win over Gachikun as well in that grand final. So
that's crazy
in front of the biggest crowd we've ever had for Street Fighter. So definitely making a name for himself this year. So he's kind of like one of the new people in the running for that qualification with the points out of nowhere. But at the end of the day, this was kind of the story of Fudo, though. I mean, the fact that he was about to be eliminated several times against Moke with that insane comeback, the level 3 failing to chip, the ridiculous comebacks, and then that grand finals first set to reset the bracket, staring death in the face with his wake up reversals, his reversals after blocking normals to do level 2 because he was going to die no matter what. He's clutch, man. He's clutch. He's looking in prime form, but the question is, does it carry through to Evo? Like, there's so many good players. Do you think this means something going into the big one coming up?
I wanted to say something just real quick on the Moke Fudo match. Moke was up 2-0 with Mai versus Fudo's DJ. I don't know how you guys feel about this, but I said this on my stream. Moke got bored. There was no reason to switch off of Mai. He got bored playing Mai, and he actually just switched for no reason. Because he was destroying him with Mai.
Hold up.
He got bored.
I remember your ass playing against Punk in a very important top 8, and your ass was whooping his ass.
Tell him.
And then he beat you like a game. You was up 2-0 smoking him. He won like a game, and you switched and stayed with the other character and lost. You remember that?
No, he switched. That was Capcom Cup 2019 Grand Finals. He was cooking with Laura. He lost the game, swapped to Poison, and then won the tournament.
Well, you're being separate things. That's true, but you did do that too.
I know which one. I know which one Rob's talking about. I actually know which one Rob's talking about. It was like the online qualifier.
Yeah, it was important.
The CPT qualifier.
But that one's different because like I was practicing with Poison more for Karen, so that one's different. So unless Moke was practicing with Chun for some reason against DJ, then I'm wrong. But he was cooking with Mai, so he had no reason to switch.
That was that match. If you look at the Fudo Moke losers final set, I've never seen Fudo look that free for those first 2 games. I've never seen that before. Every single fireball was jumped, every single frame trap connected. It was just like Moke could not do anything wrong. He speed ran Fudo for 4 or 5 rounds straight. Free. And then the third game, he barely lost. Yeah. He barely lost with Mai and then swapped the Chun-Li.
I don't know why more like, bro, commentators, y'all go ahead and take this and use this if you want to. I'm telling you, bro. Please start letting people know. I call it winning time, bro. Shit is different. We've seen it for years. If you've been around the goddamn scene, it's different when you bout to motherfucking win. The better player, at least on that day, for whatever reason, is always the one that's going to clutch it out. If at Evo, iDom, if you end up going down against, what'd you say, buddy, name Picklestein? What's his name?
Picklestein.
Picklestein.
If you go down,
big win to him, man,
against Pickles 1-0 in a round, I would bet $1,000 that you about to win while you are down a game in a round, because I know he don't got that. You get what I'm saying? It's deeper than just the actual analytics or the actual specifics of the match. The whole game changes when it's like, okay, now this is for the set. So I think no matter even if he didn't switch, I think Fudo was going to win that shit. And I'm judging that not just by the fact that he won that, but also by the fact that he had to go and clutch out and reset the bracket in grand finals later on, which I know we ain't get to that yet, but he just in different form. The way people win Street Fighter tournaments, I don't know if y'all agree with this, bro. The way people win the biggest Street Fighter tournaments, it's not by being the best. It's by, for whatever reason, that music start playing, you got to touch. And it just happens to be the right fucking day that the music plays for you and you open the fucking Allspark. That's how this shit goes. It's not random. You really are playing better than everybody. But if we play Capcom Cup then for like 5 days in a row or 5 weekends in a row, Kakeru will only win Capcom Cup 1 time. He will not win it even 2 times.
It depends on how many people Blas beat that time.
You get what I mean?
I think Kakano's path. Yeah, I get what you mean. Yeah, there's a handful of people who are of that caliber, and the odds are you have to recalculate the odds each time you go to another bracket match, right? Like, what are your odds of winning, and then doing it all in a row?
It's like poker,
and
almost,
that always gets
bro.
diminishing
It's
returns.
almost like, like poker. Poker is extremely highly skilled, but in the end of the day, the best player
variance,
just means you're gonna win 15% of the time or some shit versus other dudes only gonna win 5% of the time
amongst the other best players. Yeah,
yes.
exactly.
Yeah.
I definitely agree. Of course, there's a lot of guessing. We do short set formats, like other games of 1v1 type of sports or competition. They don't do our first to three with a reset. We think that's like such an involved set. That's not how you ever see how the Olympics do table tennis. One set takes hours. They're doing 3 different formats. They're doing first to 7, win by 2 for 4 games, and then and you win that whole thing by 3 games, and then that is 1 set, and you do like 4 sets. It keeps going and going and going. And no other format do we do this tiny compressed like win right now or it's over, and that does introduce more variance, and that's part of the fun for like what we do. But it does mean like you have to be of the best and have it be your day. That's facts.
Fudo did those supers.
I don't disagree.
It sounds scrubby and simple, but like, what if those supers got blocked? Like, don't get me wrong. You get my point.
Every Street Fighter 6 match. No, that's every Street Fighter 6 match. If this shit hits, you might just win. So it's different.
It's you know what I'm saying. So I don't know. I think, but
Fudo was on the verge of losing several times, and he did wake up reversal, wake up super, reversal super, and they all landed. Like that. And if any, I think there's 3 moments where he would have lost if that reversal was blocked. 3 moments,
crazy.
Right? He coin flipped 3 times and it came up heads. He called it each time, right? And
that's godlike, but it's like, also your day. That's godlike and it's your day.
Yeah, of course. And to be clear for Rob, like with the listeners, like your day amongst the other best in the world, because it could be their day. Like their margins are razor thin.
Only among the best. Yes, no random. So this is not random at all. You got to be at a very elite level, and then who wins out of goddamn Punk and Mena today? Fucking day. Who knows? You know what I mean? Or that Big Bird and Punk at EVO Grand Finals. Now I will say though, that some people, when it matters most, you know what I mean? Like, it's not just skill that is. I know I'm taking it off to like a different thing, but it's just an interesting point to me. Like Big Bird, the jump in. I hope Big Bird not watching this. I don't even want him to relive that. But that's not a skill issue. That was just something about that moment.
It's mental. It's mental.
It's deer in headlights at that point.
Yeah.
Yes. Like I think people like iDom. I'm not really as much like these people as people thought in the past, but like you're really good at,
I just think it's, for me, I've always just felt like it's kind of just suppressing your emotions and just being like, if it happens, it happens. So you kind of just don't care. For me, that's how I've always saw it. But for other people, like I said, I've noticed, people get nervous and like they play better in pools versus grand final, basically, because they're less nervous.
iDom, I just want to quickly apologize real quick that I just not thought about the fact that I showed you a Street Fighter League ring and you got Capcom Cup champion in your trophy case. So my apologies.
I guess I could have just got that, right? What am I saying?
I was trying to be humble there. He could have mobbed you pretty easily.
I could have got all my trophies.
He's trying to be nice about it. Oh, Rob, that's cute. Very nice, Rob. Well done. But speaking of winning time, so we're going into EVO 2025. And for this tournament, we have 4,228 competitors signed up for Street Fighter 6. I'm going to run through the numbers real quick to give some context. So 4,228 for Street Fighter 6. Tekken 8 pulling 2,521 entrants. And then third place, Fatal Fury with 1,576 entrants. And this is interesting. There was a talking point about this because the numbers are definitely down across the board for entrants. And we're seeing for the first time for Street Fighter 6 specifically that EVO Japan has both surpassed EVO Vegas in terms of entrants, but also grew from the previous year. So EVO Japan in 2024 had 4,851 entrants. And then EVO Japan in 2025 had 6,653. Now, to be fair, I think there was like a bit of a rounding with like DQs for the bracket to make it an even number for the way they structured that. So that might be off by a few hundred. I'm not sure. So people can verify that number. But still, it went to 6,000 from 4,800. And now EVO Vegas is 4,200, right? So there's a 2,000 entrant difference there. And so EVO Japan growing, EVO Vegas shrinking. We've never seen that. We've never been in that this is a fluctuation point, right? A point of inflection here, where is EVO Japan for Street Fighter finally surpassing EVO Vegas? You know, EVO Vegas was supposed to be the prestige, it's supposed to be the one.
Whoa, calm your ass down,
Are we seeing
Brian.
a little
Calm
bit of
your
a
ass
shift
down.
right now? What's going on
You got
here?
too much dip on your chip. Don't trigger me, Brian. In the end of the day, they
Let
can
me know,
have
let me know.
50,000 entrants for Street Fighter alone. EVO Vegas is EVO. Whoever went, the reigning and defending EVO champ is Punk the God right now. That's just how this shit go in our culture. So, you know, I do think that is an interesting point though that you bring up. I think in the end of the day, it's so famous over there in Japan, bro. That I think we're gonna continue to see this trend of them going up, like their numbers continuing going up. But we gotta make sure we also point out the other games entrants are much higher EVO Vegas than EVO Japan, if I'm not mistaken. All the other fighting games are much bigger in Vegas.
Yeah, Tekken 8 had for EVO Vegas now, this year coming up, has 2,500 entrants. And then Tekken 8 for EVO Japan had 979.
Yeah.
And then Guilty Gear dropped to 693. And, you know, Guilty Gear was previously top 3 for 2024 Vegas, and that had 2,000, right? So it really is just Street Fighter 6 is growing. I think the overall entrant numbers for EVO Vegas is still higher than EVO Japan. It's just that Street Fighter 6 is the main title of both events, but it's just so huge in Japan right now that it's carrying the entire event to a whole other degree, a whole other stratosphere it's reaching, which is really surprising to see that it's still gaining momentum. And I think that's in part to like the EVO Japan event itself improving. Like it started off kind of shaky. Some of the years people didn't like the venues. There wasn't enough AC. There was issues, right? Like, so I think they've been actually improving how the event is run and promoted. And Street Fighter 6 itself it still has momentum in the community. More and more people getting into it. So it's really interesting to see. But I do agree, for me in my heart, EVO Vegas is the one. But I can't deny that we're in a changing time. All right, you got any thoughts, iDom?
I just think there's a lot of reasons why EVO Japan's big, getting bigger in Street Fighter. It's just, you know, EVO. But I think the reason EVO America is I guess a bit smaller, bro, shit's expensive. I'll be honest, that shit's expensive. And I do think having other EVOs kind of decentivizes people from other countries to go to EVO America. Like if I'm from, I don't know, the UK, why am I going to go to EVO America when it's probably cheaper for me to go to EVO France? So I could save money and just go there. I think having more EVOs is a good thing and a bad thing. I think more people will probably go to EVO in general. Like there'll be more collective people like all three EVOs than if there was just one. But I do think the other EVOs might suffer. Well, EVO Vegas will suffer a bit.
Yeah, I agree. That's a huge the economic situation, political situation of the world. There's a lot of people who don't want to travel both within the U.S. and to the U.S. right now. Like that is a very big reality. And EVO registration is very expensive. Vegas itself is there's a lot of money, right? So I can see a lot of people choosing to tune into EVO at home rather than attend if they're not like a super hardcore competitor or if they're international and have other options. So that's definitely a big reality.
The
of
options thing is huge, I think, bro. Like just you add in EVO France. Of course, we've been had EVO Japan, but now you got EVO Japan, EVO France, and what are we getting? Hold up,
it's gonna be a rotating one, but I don't remember where it's gonna be.
EVO World, I think, like something crazy.
They haven't said the location publicly.
No,
I don't recall.
Well,
I don't think so.
But in general, you add in all these EVOs, I think. That's a topic in itself, but yeah. Anyway, I do think that's a big
I have a lot of I'm with Rob. I have a lot of things to say about that one, but
of course.
Yeah.
Arslan Ash was already tweeting about it. I don't know if he deleted the tweet or not. He was already getting flack for saying he feels like too many EVOs is watering down the prestige of winning an EVO title, which I kind of agree with. To me personally, I think they need to solve this and they need to call one of them EVO Worlds and not make it a rotating one. Make it like EVO World Champion and like just pick and like settle it. Like the other ones are big, but they need to put one above the other. I think trying to say there's 4 equal weighted tournaments across the year.
Nobody will ever accept that. We will never accept that. We will never accept that they're equal. Like Evo Vegas is evil, and the other ones are great though.
Over time, that's how it goes. If they make it so over time, it'll get watered down, it'll get sanded off, and eventually what used to be will no longer be. That's it. They will be determining the direction of the culture.
Like when we doing the Evo like Evo Awards, Lifetime Achievement Award, FGC. Like, and you say, oh, Justin Wong has 30,000 Evos or whatever. How many you got? Like, are y'all gonna say that when somebody got an Evo Japan and an Evo France and shit? You're gonna just list it as an Evo?
We wouldn't have to if they specified Evo World Champion versus Evo Champion.
Change the name. Change the name, bro.
Exactly. They're probably not. I'm just saying it will lose meaning. It's just how it will. Just like I think personally, Evo pre 2009 and post 2009 are totally different beasts.
Oh my God.
What you mean by that?
You're gonna get flack. Are you saying flack? You're saying Justin's Evos pre 2000 for Marvel 2 is not the same?
Oh, you saying they got harder?
I think they got harder. They absolutely got harder. I think that's still an incredible achievement. But if I said someone post 2011 won every single Evo for a game in a row, that to me, I'm sorry. So we have the entire world traveling.
Brian's doing the basketball. The old heads were trash. Everyone's mad.
Yeah, no, it's definitely not that.
Yeah, I'm just saying, talking like that in the past, but I'm corporate now. I don't know.
No, I'm saying the new there's just more people traveling to these tournaments. It's getting harder and harder. There's more full-time professional players. It's just different. It's just a different world.
It is. I mean, but I will say I'm not even gonna lie. I am on that side, Brian. To be honest, I agree with you. But I will say to give them bail that, how can I put it? The resources are also different now too. These guys are doing that shit when, yes, it's a lot easier competition in my opinion. And the OGs have argued me down for years about that shit. I don't even know how it makes any common sense to even fix your lips to say the competition is not harder now. It's not even close, like common sense wise. But we also coming into the game with YouTube now. They ain't had YouTube. Like, right. There's so many. There's
they had YouTube.
You said they had YouTube?
They had YouTube. They had YouTube. It was not good on it. It was a cat video.
Oh, yeah.
They had YouTube.
Yeah. Rick Roll.
Right. No, I don't want to diminish the achievement. I'm just saying it's comparing apples to oranges. What I'm really
because it's not fair to say somebody's better than my bad, bro. I just want to say real quick. It's not fair to say you better than me all time because you got 8 Evos, but you won them back then, and I don't have 8 Evos, but I got to play against 50 full-time fucking players. That's just right. I'll never catch you.
I think you can't compare it. And then even now, post this era, between the modern like 2009 to now, or maybe even a little bit after 2009, I think it really picked up in 2011. If I were to really like narrow it down, like once, because international players didn't really start going until 2011, 2012. Right, especially for the Street Fighter Evos, especially 2014, 2015. That's when it was like, oh, we're having the world show up to try to win these Evo titles. And then up until now, before Evo France, even Evo Japan is a little different. How are you going to start comparing it once there's 3 Evos a year? Right? I think there's just eras happen, and I think we're entering a new era, and it's going to just water down the conversation and be able to be more nuanced. And there's going to be arguments. Oh, you're disrespecting the OGs. No, it's just different. And so we're entering a different world here. And that's why I bring up the Evo Japan versus EVO Vegas. What is the big one? Because in my heart, of course, I'm EVO Vegas all the way. I'm old. That's what means something to that degree. But if it keeps going this way, will always be that to the general consensus? Who knows?
When I do an intros for a player when I'm hosting a show, if somebody won Evo France, Evo Japan, it's amazing. I'm a motherfucking say, you're Evo Japan, you're Evo France champion. If motherfucker won Evo Vegas, I'm gonna say you're a reigning independent Evo champion. That's the difference.
You're doing your subtle part to protect the culture.
But there's a lot of new kids coming in this shit, y'all. I ain't gonna lie. And we've been around for longer for this shit. So when they coming into the FGC and Evo Japan already exists and Evo France already exists and all this other shit. So over time, yeah, it could happen. That I really do hope there's some name changes or something. I even was for the idea of like not naming Evo France and Evo whatever, like Evo, like call them something else, but marketing wise it might not work.
I don't. The reason I think it's weird too is because first of all, somebody's gonna be the first one to win all 3 Evos, like somebody win Evo Vegas, Japan and France for a same game. Probably might be Arslan, because I know Arslan already won both for Tekken, so it might be Arslan first. But even then, it gets so weird because there's Evo champions. Like, I know all the champions for all the American Evo. If you ask me who won Grand Blue and Evo Japan, bro, I don't know. It's kind of not the same. Before, it's like everyone's held at a pedestal, but now it's like it's gonna get like less and less. And I don't know who's Evo champion anymore because this guy might have won Marvel 2 in France, and I don't even know who the player is.
Yeah. Evo is more concerned with expanding the brand than preserving the prestige right now, which is it's a risky move for them as well, because you can water your own brand down. Like, that could happen. Like, there is Evo is known for being the fighting game event, right? And then Evo Japan, when that was introduced, it's like, oh, that's cool. There's another thing. Evo is the fighting game event in Vegas. Now they're like, no, really, there's 3 of them, and they're all the same. We'll see how this actually works. I will enjoy the gameplay and the shows, but I do agree that it's kind of a big branding and marketing question, really, at the end of the day. How will this play out over the next couple of years for both the brand of Evo, the legacy of the champions, and for the community as a whole? I really don't know. I really don't know how it's going to shake up. There'll be good games in all of them, but what will stick in our minds? What will resonate with the people?
Like you said, worlds. That's it. Call one Evo Worlds and all is good.
Yeah, we'll see if they listen.
What happens if they change Evo Japan to Evo World and then Vegas gets
You can't do that. You can't do that.
What do you mean you can't do that? They could definitely
bias,
do that.
Rob.
You can't, that's not NA bias. It's just history. Yeah. Like, it's just always been here.
It can move. But as long as they pick one, I think it can move.
Japan has more Street Fighter entrants. I guess we have more. All the other game entrants.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it can move. They just need to pick one.
Or it can move every year. It can move every year, as far as I'm concerned.
I agree.
That becomes a traveling budget nightmare, though. Because, like, if I'm thinking, okay, next year I want to go to EVO, I know it's in Vegas at least, so plan to go to Vegas.
Yeah, but then it gives,
what about the other people that live
in It gives other people, it gives other people.
Yeah, I think a big complaint is that the World Championship is always in EVO Vegas, and some people are just will never be able to go. Yeah. Like, there's visa issues, there's monetary issues. So if they at least keep rotating across the world, I don't care personally if they do that, as long as they call one. This is the one. You know, like, that's to me what I care about.
I guess the problem is for, like, people who would like to go to Evo every year, and then, like I said, it might become a problem for them. Because, like, say, 1 year it's in Vegas, next year it's in Dubai, and now I'm like, oh fuck, I gotta plan to go to Dubai or something, and then, like, I don't have money for that. I'm not
going to EVO Vegas.
I can't go to.
And I do. Look, I ain't gonna lie. I do think moving it around might even water it down a little bit. To be fair, though, Brian. Like, I can't explain it. Like we know we go to Vegas every year. Like, it's it's the whole energy around it. Like, we know it's time to go to Vegas. Right. It's time to
complex questions. But I think for this year, it is still safe to say at this point in time, most people will consider this Evo to be the World Championship. For now, we will see if that will remain the same. So going into this Evo, we talked a little bit about Blink Respawn and the build up for this season. I need each one of you to give me a pick. We got to do a little bit of prediction. We got to think about where this Evo could end up. Last year, Punk was the champion. He had a great performance at CEO leading up to it. Won CEO, right? That was kind of like the precursor event. This year, CEO and Blink Respawn are acting as the precursors for this Evo. What are we thinking? I need at least one pick to win.
Wait, before we pick, can we have one thing, though?
What's
that?
Can
we ban Lashar? We're all going to pick Lashar. Can we ban Lashar? Oh. I know all of our picks are probably Lashar.
What's Lashar's? Okay, what's Lashar's? Lashar's the best player right now. What's his biggest win of all time?
I guess a lot of us. His biggest win is probably that CEO or combo.
No, he hasn't won.
He won them back to back.
No, I know. No, he's the best right now as far as, like, in form. But he hasn't won his Grand. I know he knew her, but he hasn't won his Grand Slam yet, right? Like, one of the big Grand Slams. So he wouldn't be my pick.
No, he got third place at Capcom Cup, and and then fourth or fifth the year before. So Capcom Cup is where he's gone the furthest at the biggest.
Lashar finishes top 3 at Evo.
He got Evo. Yeah, he got top 3 or 4 at Evo Japan, I think.
Yeah,
I don't think he wins. I think he finishes top 3 at Evo.
Okay, what's your pick then? So yeah, we can pick Lashar. He's on the table. Rob has someone else. Okay. Who do you got, Rob? Give us a pick and defend it.
Punk the God is going to be the back to fucking back Evo champion. You heard me say this shit right here, right now. Back-to-back Evo champion. And the reason I say this, he is going in there with, I feel like, how can I put this, bro? The weight is off his goddamn shoulder, right? He's already won it. His confidence, his even the arrogance is at an all-time high. We seen with that Street Fighter League, him and Mena talking trash to each other and all that. I feel like normally I like to pick Mena for these type of things. I could see Mena winning it as well, of course. But I feel like form-wise, right now, Punk is at a different stratosphere right now. And I think when it matters most, I mean, that grand finals that he had last year up against Big Bird, bro. And how many times have we seen Punk in top 8? Was that his like third time in top 8?
Top 8, yeah. Yeah, so I think he got top 8 like every SF6 Evo.
Yeah, there's only been 2. He was top 8, I think fourth in the third in the first one.
So
yeah, third.
Three Street Fighter 6
consistency.
Street Fighter 6, and he been in top 8 all 3 times. You saying?
No,
well,
2. It's only been 2, right?
In
Vegas.
Yeah. It's only been 2. But then in 5, we know when he fought Tokido and shit like that as well. So he has consistent great results there. And I just think that a lot of people are very nervous in that spot. You trying to fight up against a damn supercomputer as far as his reactions and whatnot there. I think it's terrifying knowing you can't press a fucking button in neutral. You can't drive rush. You can't jump. His mental stack is infinity. I think he runs it back actually, bro.
Yeah, Rob. So that's already messed up because Punk's in my path. I think if I were to beat Punk, I think that's for like top 24. That's fucked up, Rob.
Oh no. I mean, IDZ,
that's fucked up.
Look, man, you look like I dropped today. And don't look like I dropped today a little bit.
It's cause the facial hair is getting kind of
facial hair is coming in. True.
But going back to what Brian said, I don't think anyone pre-2011 Evo has ever gone back-to-back. In Street Fighter, at least.
In terms of winning at all?
Yeah, and winning. Yeah, because I think Daigo was the last one to go back-to-back.
Daigo was the last one.
2009.
That's what created his legacy. That's another topic of conversation, talking about Mena RD, right? If it was Vegas, it'd be done for. But Daigo, a huge reason why he's as legendary as he is because he won those 2 Evos back-to-back. Like, that cemented it forever. He was already legendary before that with his performances in Guilty Gear and other games, but those 2 were like nail in the coffin, GOAT forever. So that's big. That's encroaching Daigo status if Punk wins.
I just want to make sure I point out, just because I don't want to think I'm switching it up. I do believe if it's not Punk, Mena is my second favorite to win. That's my opinion. I'm just pointing that shit out.
Switching out.
Punk and Mena.
Punk and Mena my top 2.
But
I got Punk number 1 right now. I think Punk is a favorite. I think he wins. But Mena is number 2, not even Lashar.
If I had to pick someone other than myself, obviously. If I had to pick somebody to win it all, I would have to go with it's got to be Lashar. Sorry, that was kind of just my pick. The CEO and Combo Breaker. Lashar is the first one to make this game seem not kind of coin flips, so I got to go with Lashar.
I agree, actually. Yeah, I'll pick somebody else, but that would be my pick too, because I what you said there was so important. I think he makes the game seem not like guessing. Like, the situations he gets into, he seems to have the proper button timing, the response, the whiff punish, the counter poke. Like, everything seems to be almost solved with him. And I do agree that he's gotten to a level where the more scrambly up close interactions feel controlled in a way that we haven't seen. So I really wish he went to Blake Respawn. I wish he would try to sweep 3 in a row, but maybe Evo will have to be it. I don't know if you have any like inside iDom to what he's doing in his gameplay, because I feel like it's so interesting watching his button press timing, the way he counter pokes. Like, while people are pressuring him, he knows exactly when to press like in return and shut it down. Like, they never get extended turns on him. I don't know if you have anything his X factor.
I've only played a Lashar once, and I beat him the one time we played casual. So if he runs into me, it's over. So that's all I'm saying. But I don't think we're in the
all
same
right,
path.
Lashar wins as long as he doesn't run into iDom. Got it.
Bro,
understood.
I want to make sure I also say I agree that Lashar is the best player right now. I just want to let it be clear. I'm just betting on greatness over better, if that makes sense. So what I mean by that is, just like I said about it doesn't always come down to just raw skill. I think it almost never does. That's why in the biggest tournaments, when does the dude who's just the hottest or the most skill at the time on paper win? It don't happen. It's more of a mental thing. And I think that's why I don't think Mina is necessarily always the most, bro. Remember Evo Japan, Mina did that fucking jump back air throw in the corner against the Cam. Was that Akita?
And it's yeah.
Jump back air throw. That's not skill, bro. I hate to break that to y'all. That's not skill. That is some other shit going on. That's some ethereal, you know what I mean? That's just, again, the music. You got the touch. Some motherfuckers got it. You know, and I'm not saying Lashard doesn't. I'm just saying we haven't seen it yet. You know what I mean? We haven't seen it yet. Now with Punk, officially, I've seen it with that Evo. That's what Punk was missing before. Now that he got that Evo, he already had everything else. And somebody like Mina, I can never walk into a tournament that is the biggest tournament on earth, one of the biggest tournaments on earth, and say that Mina is not a fucking top 2, top 3 favorite. I don't give a fuck what's going on in the scene. This nigga Mina could go 0-2 in every bracket leading up to it, and he has earned, I'm not meat rotting. He has earned for some reason, when it mattered most. You know what I'm saying? That's why I got
in between his Evo Japan wins, right? I mean, he did win Cream City, but to be fair, that was more like an NA regional, right? Where he qualified to Capcom Cup. In between those Evo Japan wins, what did Mina win of that caliber? In fact, you could even argue there were some moments where he kind of was having a lull in his performances.
So the first Evo Japan win, he went after the first Evo Japan win, he came back to play in our World Warrior. He drowned in pool. It'd be like that. That's how it goes.
Brother, this is my point.
I remember that.
That's my point.
How did that happen?
That's the truth with him.
Mina RD is definitely not the most consistent player, but he has the most Grand Slam wins.
I think he might be the GOAT of Street Fighter, though, even though he's not the most consistent. Because when it mattered most, you know what I'm saying? And Punk is in the GOAT conversation. He could be the arguably GOAT because he's won the most shit as far as just regular like majors. And now he finally got a fucking Evo, the first American Evo. You know, that stuff is greatness to me, though. You know what I mean? So that's fun.
So what about, let me press on Lashar then. Why do you feel like the music wasn't playing for Lashar at Combo Breaker and CEO? And, you know, he got real close with Street Fighter League Japan as well. Why do you not consider those moments to be like that?
Because that music right there, that's from when it matters most. The world is on the line. The whole Unicron about to blow this bitch up. But Unicron not about to blow this bitch up until it's Evo, Capcom Cup, EWC. You know what I'm saying? You save New York City or some shit. That's different. You those biggest ones when iDom wins Capcom Cup, you got the touch. You get what I'm saying? That's a whole different pressure, a whole different ball game. That's why I look at that's why with Psycho I knew and Psycho and Shine. Yes, they did their thing at Street Fighter League NA finals. That's cool, brother. When you did that shit at Capcom Cup, and now all of this is on the line, okay, you reach a different tier. Same thing with sports. You know, IDZ, there's motherfuckers that's great in the regular season. But what have you done when it mattered the most? That was the knock on Punk. And now I don't knock him on that. Now he won Evo. You know, so that's all. I won't be surprised if Lashar wins.
I get what you're saying.
He would get into if Mina wins, he doesn't go into a new tier. If Punk wins, he does not go into a new tier. If Lashar wins, he goes into a new tier.
I would argue if Lashar wins, he goes into a tier for Street Fighter 6. He's entering his own tier because to me, that's 3 premier wins in a row, which has not.
I don't think even during Street Fighter 5, nobody won Combo Breaker, CEO, and Evo back to back.
That's the Holy Trinity.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
That's literally Blink Respawn was kind of shoved into the schedule there, right? Like that was inserted to be of that caliber with the Esports World Cup and CPT points now. So that's why I was a little disappointed you didn't go to that. But for years, it was Combo Breaker, CEO, and Evo. Like that was the big 3, really, like the build up to Evo. So if Lashar to me wins that, I think that is like winning Evo Japan back to back. You know what I mean? Like that to me is like that's of that level in my opinion. So I think if Lashar wins this one, he surpassed a lot of people in this era of Street Fighter 6, like and legacy as well.
I think he'll be like undeniably the best SF6 player, but even then, there's still kind of like a lot of discussions to be had. I mean, he's probably the most consistent.
He would not.
SF6
You can.
player,
You
but
think if he won Evo, you think he'd be the best Street Fighter 6 player of all time so far?
probably. I don't think anyone else has.
We were
that
just
much
saying, Rob. Listen,
on a legacy.
Combo Breaker, CEO, Evo. That was the big three.
Yeah.
Nobody has won all three of those in a row. That means, to me, if you win all three of those in a row, you have won the build up to Evo. Like, that is it. You have swept that era.
That's
so
true.
that to me is saying something. If Lashar wins Evo on top of that, it's like Bleak Respawn shook things up for the first time by having something of that caliber put between CEO and Evo. Normally that wasn't there, right? And Lashar did not attend. He took a break. So
you can't hold it against him. You can't hold it
the
against
whole
him.
Yeah, but it muddies the whole build up a little bit. But like for the legacy audiences, it was Combo Breaker, CEO, Evo. CEO was always the precursor to Evo, like the preview of what was going to happen. And Lashar won. Punk won CEO last year, then won Evo. Lashar won CEO this year, and Combo Breaker. If he wins Evo on top of that, that's to me, that's the three big leading the ramp to legacy. You know, the ramp to greatness. So I think there's a big conversation for Lashar if he wins Evo in terms of taking over some spots in the world of Street Fighter 6.
Yeah, that's a good goddamn case. That's hard to argue. That level of dominance, because I mean, the most dominant players that I didn't seen probably was probably Punk back in the day, 2017 type Punk.
Yeah, that's the 2017 Punk.
That's the most dominant player we've ever really seen, and even he didn't do that.
Well, actually, mine's is still Season 1 Goichi in Dragon Ball. He was unbeatable.
Yeah, there's other games.
That's actually the GOAT. That's actually the GOAT. Season 1 Dragon Ball Goichi.
And now this motherfucker all this time later is winning Fatal Fury EWC.
Yeah, now he's a Fatal Fury champion.
That's fucking crazy.
And top 8 at Combo Breaker. You know, he's who knows about Evo, right? Goichi, I don't know what he's going to be focusing on for Evo, but he if he chooses to, he could, right? Like he did it at Combo Breaker, and he was the one who like gate kept. Who did he gate kept? He randomly got like top 4 in the final World Warrior for Japan. When a lot of people needed those points, like he gate kept somebody from getting the points to qualify. He's like, "Oh, I'm going to show up and win this, or like go really far."
I don't know.
So he's nasty.
I don't know if this Evo would give him minimum back-to-back Evo Japan.
Yes,
yeah,
brother. This year in Street Fighter 6. So he won back-to-back Evo Japan, and he won Street Fighter League World Championship, beating Japan and carrying for it respectfully. Like he had to carry too. I'm not. If Lashar went Evo, I'm not comfortably saying that he the best Street Fighter 6 player up to this point of all time.
Well, most
two straight Evo Japans and fucking.
But like for titles, I think Mena would still be above, but one title away from equal footing with Lashar.
But Rob, going back off of what you said, you still said you're holding EVO Vegas higher than EVO Japan.
Yes,
then.
But
you gotta give
Lashar
some credit.
What's the ratio?
You know what the ratio is for me? I agree entirely. But to win 2 of them bitches and to win it back to back, now that's
is
crazy.
EVO Japan like 0.75 EVO Vegas is? Like what is it? Is it?
I don't know.
But
you get what I mean by that?
Like
I do think EVO Japan on paper technically was the harder tournament like last time, right? Like do we agree on that? Like on paper, skill wise, but I believe the stakes of EVO Vegas make it more respectable and harder to me. But skill wise, like who was there and playing. Like, and how much harder the pools are harder and everything is harder. Do we agree? Even Japan harder.
By that logic, Japan, like, then you should hold Japan with higher weight.
But to me, the
emotional
side
there's a little bit
make
less
EVO Vegas harder.
I see what you're saying, but also even for skill wise, like I think for the average level is much higher in EVO Japan. But maybe I don't know if I am firm on this position, but there's a decent amount of the international top talent that doesn't go to EVO Japan, right? I mean, they might have went to this year, but I know at least in the first EVO Japan, I don't think like if the Birds were there. There's a handful of players who don't end up attending. Crazy. Yeah, this one was really stacked. I think this 2024 or the most recent one, 2025, was much harder to win. So like the fact that Mena did it again is
my point is the back to back. I'm not.
But there's some top level players that aren't going from like the best of the world from other regions besides Japan aren't going. The average level is much higher though, of course. But like when you're looking at Mena RD, who are you looking to beat him? Like you're looking at like Angry Bird.
Winning EVO Japan,
you're picking specific people.
Winning EVO Japan back to back is more impressive than winning Combo Breaker, CEO, and EVO in a row. And I'm standing on that. I'm down on that hill. That's my opinion. I think winning EVO Japan back to back is more impressive than that's one. In the end of the day, it's amazing and it's one of the best things I've ever seen. So I'm not downplaying it, but that's 1 year of being a god. Back to back is like they had a whole year to get better, and I won again. And the tournament got harder, and I won again.
Yeah,
and
I guess
won
what do you value? Because
Worlds.
like think about Meta RD, right? Like we said, those were the peaks. You had kind of the valleys in between. But Lashar is having this whole ramp moment. Like to me, they're both amazing, but it's kind of cool. There's two different things to appreciate there. Like Meta RD, I was not going to that EVO Japan. I was not like Meta RD is about to win EVO Japan again. You know, like I wasn't. That was not on my mind. But Lashar, if he does this in a row, that's also very impressive to me. Consistency is huge.
At our local, we did like a little fantasy draft for this year's EVO Japan. You know, no one picked Meta. Because it was like he's playing like he hasn't been playing that well that entire time. No one picked Meta, so no one got the fantasy
Rob
money.
In there.
Yeah, no, Rob would have took him.
I would have picked Meta.
Rob, you're annoying with the Punk Meta picks because it's like 80% of the time it doesn't work, and then 20% of the time it does, and it's like, yeah, I guess eventually, if you keep saying Punk and Meta, you're not wrong. Eventually, they're gonna come around and win again.
Picking them, my percentage is still. I bet you it's still higher than what other people get by picking all these other motherfuckers. I bet my percentage is still higher.
Yeah, if you just, it's like, you know, on your test, it's always put C on the Scantron. If you just always put Punk or Meta, eventually you're gonna win more than you lose.
You picked
in return.
Kakeru for Japan. I did not. So you literally, I mean, for Capcom Cup, I think you literally picked Kakeru.
You guys, you know, I still get comments about, oh, I can't believe on that podcast no one put Kakeru, even though you guys outvoted me on the solo predictions on our show. You know, I put 100% Kakeru. You guys voted me out, which was insane.
You cook with that,
by the way.
But look,
so by the way, who's winning that EVO Vegas? Do I get my pick here?
Oh, you didn't even say. Yeah, who you got?
I guess you guys reminded me. I guess it's about time. Kakadu, he's back again.
Whoa,
this is it.
That's a tough one. That's a tough one.
This is the one.
If he wins
Capcom Cup champion
and EVO back to back, that's
into EVO.
Great.
He hasn't been playing that well since Capcom Cup, to be honest, but it could happen.
Meta RD hasn't been playing that well.
Yeah.
I just got to get my vote in because I feel like I got robbed of my prediction last time. My other pick would have been Fudo. That would have been I just think the clutch factor he showed to me is of that. I mean, he's done it before. Both Fudo and Momochi, they're EVO champions. Fudo's clutch factor is ridiculous, but I am always a believer in Kakadu. Kind of like Rob's Meta RD, to me, Kakadu just has the optimization level. I'm a little bit nervous because he hasn't been going to tournaments. I wish he was, selfishly, just to watch him play. But he qualified right away. He doesn't have anything to prove right now. Got $1 million. Topanga League, I think he did decent in Topanga League. He didn't win, I think, but wasn't he top 3?
We got like 4th. I think it was 4th or 3rd.
If you get 4th or 3rd in Topanga League, you can win the whole thing, right? Fudo, but objectively on paper, Fudo would be a better pick right now because he just won Topanga League and Blink Respawn, which is absurd. And the way he won Blink Respawn to me is like Rob's clutch factor, you know. So Fudo, it's to me is hitting all those boxes. So, but I'd rather just say Kakadu because.
Hey, Kakeru, right, the fact that he won the most money ever, bro, and not from one event. He won the first Gamers when it was Gamers 8. He won Gamers 8 and EVO. That means you can always bet on him safely, in my opinion. So yeah, I do think that's a safe. That's a good pick.
Yeah, he's just been low key since Capcom Cup for us in the West, right? So I feel like a lot of people aren't thinking about him right now.
So I want to throw this out. When I saw the top 8, I said Punk was gonna win. That was me last year. As soon as I saw the top 8 bracket, I was like, Punk's winning that.
I picked Punk.
Yeah,
I picked Punk to win EVO last year beforehand, I believe. I think it's in an interview.
Well, we know it's Punk or Mena, so
no, it was because
I believe
it was because of CEO. To be fair, it was because he was hot up CEO. Bro, don't act like I don't pick other people, bro.
But then you don't pick Lashar. I'm just still confused about
no. But I said
Lashar.
I got Lashar top 3. I swear I would literally pick Lashar, bro, if he already had a Grand Slam win.
But Punk. What did you consider Punk's Grand Slam before that? Was it what was the 2017 tournament with a lot of money?
E-League?
Was it E-League?
No,
is that what you counted as Grand Slam?
He didn't have no Grand Slam win. So you poked a hole in my argument a little bit.
Yeah.
But I will say his history was crazier than Lashar's, to be fair. But that is a fair point. That's a fair point.
Lashar, to me, is the closest we're getting to... It's not the same.
You're
of course,
right.
2017 Punk was a different level. But what I'm saying is Lashar is the first time we've seen any sense of stability and consistency at premier level. The very first instance of it. And then Fudo is the second one to me, to a degree, to win Topanga League, even though it's not a CPT Premier, and then Blink Respawn right after. That's the second instance. I think this season, it's finally inching towards like a more stable competitive environment in that sense. And I don't think that's just the game. I think just like also the level of competition is so high that so many people are traveling that it's really hard to make that jump. But I feel like Lashar is making that push.
Yeah, you're right.
More than anybody. That's why I'm really looking at Lashar right now.
Yeah. And you know, side note, by the way, I think I brought this up to you before, Brian. I don't know if I talked to you before about it, iDom, but somebody like Lashar, I really think one of the secrets to being like super godlike is like almost stoicism. Like not literally, but you know, I think a lot of
not really. There's a lot of people who aren't like that, who are just godlike. To be fair,
like as far as consistency, I really think that's one of the reasons why I like a lot of the Asian players be fucking godlike as fuck, because they kind of just. And I'm not talking about no fucking weird ass anime shit. I'm just saying, like, even you, IDZ, like, you show more shit now, but I definitely think one of the reasons you won Capcom Cup was your temperament. I think people's natural temperament, you know, like somebody being a more outward emotional person, I think creates more volatility. Even whatever your skill level might be. Like I even think that yeah, I mean, even though I know Mena doesn't fit in that type of category.
I'm about to bring up your two goats are Punk and Mena, who are extremely emotional people.
Like that,
Mena RD wears his emotions on his sleeve, and you can argue that is his power up. That's actually his X factor, that he knows how to harness it. And Punk,
I can argue it hurt Punk a lot over the years.
Maybe it has, but maybe it's also fueled him.
No, it has.
I think Punk is a person who's fueled by ego and spite, right? So in a sense, that could be what drives him as well. Like I think different, you know, competitors find different sources of what drives them. Generally, I think culturally as well, from Japan, you tend to see more reserved attitudes, and they try to, you know, not show their emotions on their sleeve. That's kind of a cultural thing as well, but maybe it's still there.
I think that's what makes
under the hood.
No, I'm not saying how they are inside, like what they really feeling inside. And you know me, you know my personality is kind of, I won't say similar to Punk, but as far as competitively, you know, I agree.
You're more on that side.
I'm more on that side, but I do also think that,
Mm-hmm.
you know, if you put fucking Punk skill in goddamn Lashar or somebody's fucking brain, like as far as like his personality type, Punk probably would have been had fucking 50 EVOs and Capcom Cups by now, in my opinion.
But maybe I see what you're saying about consistency, but maybe that also fuels the peaks.
Yeah. So it's hard to say. I get what you mean.
Like Mena is a player who peaks, is he not? Like,
oh, for sure. I
don't look at Mena as a consistent player for his level. Like he for being the most elite player potentially on the planet, right? Like he'll have results that are not of what you would predict for someone who just won an EVO, right? I mean, they're still in the mix of top level of talent, right? But even if you're trying to get above and set yourself apart, it's not always you pick a random tournament. You're not going to think that of that result. But he peaks, and then it could be because of those that emotional energy that he draws for those moments, right? So it's hard to say. But I do agree with what you're saying with Lashar's temperament. He's always very consistently placing very high, right? Every Capcom Cup, he's top. He's like 5th place or higher. Street Fighter League. That's a format about consistency. He was the most dominant player in that league. He didn't clutch out in the end, but he was, you know, the MVP, right? Now we're seeing him win back-to-back premieres. It's a safe bet to say he's going to probably go far.
Oh, for sure.
Right? And I think that's to his credit for his temperament. I see what you're saying there. I don't think he's a player who's fueled by his emotions to peak in that moment. It's more about a consistent rise to the top where... But we've seen these other players who I think are very emotionally charged, and that fuels them to win when the lights are the brightest.
Justin Wong.
I don't know what the better strategy is.
Justin Wong is, I would consider him, I know he plays lane, but I think he wears his emotions when he was competing. He fucking, like you said, Mena, Punk, Sonic Fox. Sonic Fox expressive as fuck. Yeah. You know, so, I guess in general, I think not just Grand Slam, as a whole, from my vantage point, people that are even keel got a better chance of repeating the same process and same level of skill over and over and over again. And I think that's one of the reasons why the Asian countries are stronger. But that's my opinion.
That's true.
I don't. I actually don't think, a whole nother argument, but I don't think Asia's the best in SF6, to be fair.
That's not even controversial to say anymore. The reason why I was bringing up Blink Respawn is to say it made me nostalgic because we saw Japan back in top 8, but yeah, I don't think that's controversial.
I don't think they're the best.
Top to bottom, though,
like
depth-wise, they are depth-wise, right?
Yeah, depth-wise, but it's always like that. They got they got 2,000 more people playing than us, according to this Evo. It's not even fair.
That's a fair point.
Well, it just depends on what you're talking about, right? So, like you're saying, iDom, that if you took the top 20 or top 10 best players and did a 10v10, there's other regions that could beat them. And I think that's definitely fair in this game, 100%. And now, if you compare the average and depth of talent, Japan shits on the world. Like, there's so many good players.
Okay, not like no OCVs. There's countries that can beat them 10v10.
I think if you took NA's top 10 and took Japan's top 10, it's not even close. Well, I mean, say not even close, but I think
like if you average the results somehow, did maybe like a round robin and weight every result.
But if it was, you gotta beat like who just scores the most points, first to 3, top first player, first player segment. You think America, like or NA as a whole, might get it?
Yeah.
Oh shit! I gotta think about
in
this.
In six.
And I'm an NA warrior,
Japan.
But...
I think it falls off very. Maybe if you did top 5, I think the problem with every other region is it falls off so fast compared to Japan. Right?
I think
if you did a 3v3, Chile could win. Chile could.
Yeah.
And also, if you depend on how you weigh things, like Blas beat all of Japan in the world during Capcom Cup, right? And Cryme, he almost made Daigo retire, right? Like, so you can make arguments depending on the format for every region.
Brian,
I think you'd have to do some kind of like theoretical weighted round robin and average the results.
Where are we going? Real quick. Punk, Minna, iDom, Dual Kevin. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Punk, Minna, iDom, Dual Kevin, Nephew. Where are we going?
Knuckle
do.
You're saying like versus Japan?
Yeah, this is our top. I want our 10. Because I that sounds crazy, but I want to see if I'm tripping. 10? Right now, that's Punk, Minna,
so that's 8.
Kev, Nephew, Knuckle Dude. That's 6. And we struggling to find 4 more? We're going to put Psycho in?
Oh, Noah.
Oh, you got to put Noah.
Psycho.
You got to put Noah.
Yeah, Noah and Psycho.
Noah's the final boss for USA in this format, for sure. Yeah, Noah's in there. And then what? Did you say Nephew?
Yeah.
Then there's like, I don't know. It's debatable. There's Psycho who's making a good case for himself, Psycho right now. Then maybe a Jack, then
Jack.
maybe a Shine, maybe a... Who else?
A Boost.
Oh, big
Boost. Put Boost on there.
I ain't gonna lie. Our team kind of nasty. Punk, Minna, iDom, Dual Kevin, Nephew, that's 5. Knuckle Dude, Noah the Prodigy, Psycho, Jack, Shine, Boost. Now, I will say
they've all beaten the best players from Japan. All of them. Every single one of them.
Yes.
They've done it.
So we could win that.
We could
win that, but I don't think we are favored if it's... We're not favored if we listed Japan's 10. I'm sorry. Not favored, I don't think.
Really? Because who's the best player in Japan? Kakeru, right? You all say Kakeru.
Okay.
And then Japan is kind of like
Fudo.
Us, if you think.
Momochi. What do you mean? He just went to Panga League. Fudo right now is the best player in Japan.
So it's funny you say this. How Punk was in 2017 to the rest of NA is how I see Kakeru to the rest of Japan right now.
Ooh.
Like there's a gap, and then there's the rest of them.
But Fudo just cleared that gap twice.
Was it Panga and
he beat his
but also
friends at home and abroad.
Okay. Blink, good tournament win. First to 7 and first to 3 are entirely different.
That's fair.
Especially in SF6.
But I think he validated it with
entirely
Blink, if
different
that makes sense.
To me,
but you're right.
It depends on if you're running this in reality or not. To me, I'm running this as a theoretical computer simulation in my head where they're playing first to 10 sets, round robin, everybody, and we're averaging all the scores. Right? That to me will never happen in real life in a real event, and it'd be boring as fuck. It would take years. Right? So I'm just saying if I had a computer simulation to crunch the numbers of the average amount of wins between all the players round robin of every region like that, I still put Japan probably over. Now, if you do an actual realistic format where people have to knock each other out and do a smaller set format, then of course USA has a huge chance to win. I don't know about favored, but huge chance.
I got Noah beating any of them up. I don't give a damn. I know that sounds crazy. I don't give a damn. I think Noah, in his own way, you know what I mean? With it, like I think
in a first of three, Noah could beat any of them. Yeah.
Yes, I think so. Yeah.
Well, I think Kakadu kind of beat the brakes off of him at Captain Cup.
Oh, you're right.
I would be a bit hesitant about Kakadu, but the rest of them, yes.
iDom, you bring up a fair fucking point as I sit there and put this list out. That's interesting. I might have to start a narrative and stir some beef up.
You're giving Rob too much fuel here. All right. Well, I think we're coming up to the end of this. Do we have any last words for the extra trashy audience going into this Evo? I do want to say myself, say what's up. I'll be at Evo. It'll be good to see everybody. I'm sure there'll be thousands of people there. Let's get some games. Let's say what's up. And let's have a good time. Rob, you want to say anything to the people?
Oh yeah, just I guess my main thing is like, man, like not to go too deep, but like life, this shit is like a dream right now. All this hosting stuff and everything, bro. The way the FTC is going and the way like life is, even for me personally. And you know, I was just goddamn, you know, Brian, you remember we played that motherfucking Evo. You won, my controller was fucked up. But we played on stage at Evo.
Good Evo.
But you know, when I was going to these tournaments and stuff, I never imagined like doing this type of stuff with it. So it's super cool. I appreciate y'all a lot. Y'all changed my life. So I'm very excited to talk to all of y'all who attend Evo. And you know, I think it's gonna be a classic show.
Yeah, same thing. I mean, if you guys see me at Evo, come say what's up. You know, thankful for you guys. Glad you guys enjoy all the stuff we put out and all the things we do. So if you see me, come say what's up.
All right, that wraps us up. We'll see you guys after Evo to see how correct I am and how wrong iDom and Rob are. All right, thanks for listening, guys. Peace.